Ooh. Maybe having OBS trouble, so just let me know if you can hear me. You know how audio and stuff are. Can you hear me, guys? Hey, epic. Sweet. Alright. So yeah, today I'm going to be just live streaming work on the demo for Mariposa and the Galaxy Man. No avatar today. It'll just be like my head, or actually it won't be my head, it'll just be me working on the screen, just to make sure everything is streaming okay. Anyway. Trying to get Incros in the chat since she's like the whole creative side of this, so if there are any, most questions would be for her, but if and while she's not here, I'll answer what I can. Anyway, let's go. Alright. So we got the map. Oh, man. Yeah, this will be the main area the demo takes place. We got the 4 domes that'll be kind of the levels, I suppose. While we have the hub map here. Still, obviously, a lot of work to do on stuff. For those of you who are familiar with my other work, this uses some elements of the 3D platformer toolkit, but mostly not, just because it's pretty outdated. It uses a fair bit of Super RPG framework, but so I'm actually going to change over music now to something less repetitive. But something equally epic. I'm sure if Incros is here, she might object a little bit to this music, being like, "That's not on tone." Well, too bad. I'm streaming, I can pick the music. Anyway, let's go work on the maps. A lot of places. Yeah, I'll turn down the music a bit. It's hard for me to gauge the levels of stuff. Just let me know if it's still too loud. Yeah, I guess I've shown off a little bit of the gameplay. This will be the first time we're showing off a gameplay. I didn't really think of that, but oh well. But yeah, 3D platformer stuff. Got Mariposa around here. Obviously, like I said, still very much early work in progress stuff. But yeah, we'll move it around. Double jump. Dash. That dash is probably a little loud. We got the zero gravity. The visuals for it aren't quite in yet. You can see you can kind of control, turn off gravity essentially for yourself, and that's kind of the main idea behind a lot of the gameplay. Is a lot of gravity and physics puzzles and stuff. So yeah. Wait, now in fact, I don't know if many of you, any of you saw it on my Twitter already, but if not, have a bit of a dialogue test I did. I think this is a meme, so I'm not expecting any copyright stuff, but...
Why are you locked in the bathroom? You talking to me? Maybe you should try getting a job. Okay, where? Majestic 12. Maybe you should join Majestic 12 in a body bag.
Oh, thanks. Is it Lisa? Liza? Anyway, thank you. I'm excited to work on it now. I've mostly been busy with other stuff up to now, but I'm able to work again on it. But yeah, that's an example of dialogue. So I've shielded out Logic Driver Pro a little bit, actually a few times before, because it's really good. It did just get as it's been improving, it has been increasing in price, so I know it's a bit of I think it's $120 now, so it's a bit of a steep curve admittedly, but it's an incredibly powerful tool, and yeah, it's what I use for dialogue here. So it's pretty nice. You can set up your own states and how exactly you want them to function and what variables you have, and you can set up all the logic. It's really nice. So this is how dialogue works in here. I'll probably avoid showing dialogue as much as I can from the demo, just because I don't know what Ink is concerned about as far as spoilers and stuff go, even though it is all just from the prologue. Oh yeah, it's on Whiplash. I'm just a fan of that Deus Ex meme. It's a fun thing to use for testing dialogue, because it's a nice little conversation. It doesn't really work as well for branching dialogue, because it only has like one possible outcome, but anyway. Frick, gotta wait for, there we go, it's fixed itself. Yeah, another tool, if you guys haven't heard of, I'd strongly recommend it. It was, I think, maybe been free a little bit ago. I don't know if it still is, but it's this Pro Instance Tools. It's really cool for quickly setting up instance meshes and stuff. And I use it for these rocks here. It's just a spline, and I just added a few rocks in, and so now it can generate like a wall of rocks. And obviously you'll need to do a few of them to make it blend in naturally, but I'm gonna see if I can hide all these and kind of show you the difference. How literally just putting in all these rocks here. If I hide them, well, that one's not really, but if I hide them, yeah, this is what it looks like. Not quite the same. So that's most of what I'm gonna be working on right now. But add them in, and it looks more like a real place almost. Anyway, I think I want to fix up this black first. A new landscape for that. That's okay, Dave. Glad you could come. Let's see. Well, I wanted to add a new landscape. Here we go. I want to add a landscape that is like a background and also is not that high resolution. I think. Oh, that's good. Yeah, this is reduces the resolution. I think 4x4 should be enough. Double the size, whatever. That should be good, although I want to make sure that. Oh no! No, I got rid of it! Frick! There we go. Is it 31? There we go. I just want to section it. It's about the size of this. There, that's a pretty good size. Oh man, I really gotta clean up my folder stuff here. I forgot what I named it. I've got a bunch of other crap here. I think it's just Mary landscape and stuff. Yeah, if you want to see what I'm talking about with my folder, this is my content browser. Needs a bit of cleaning up because I try to keep everything as much as I can in like one main folder and organized. Not like that at the minute. Problem is, because we're using GitHub, when I do that, it'll probably take a little while. I am using a custom auto landscape material. Initially, I was using, what is it? Like, I think it's ResTex. In fact, I actually have it here. ResTex Studio. I was using their landscape material, but it just was excluding me from getting some of the results I wanted, so I ended up making my own. that spot. And goody. It's gonna be a bit bigger probably, but shouldn't be too high resolution. Scope, that's what I'm doing. Bigger. It's not very big. It's not very big at all. 10 times is a bit much. Drop this down a little bit. Good old Falcom and their free use policy for their music. I say free use policy. Their liberal use policy. I can just play the music however much I want. It's good. Copyright, where I come from. It's a bit high. A bit much. Oh, is the so yeah, is the platformer template I made getting an update? I'd like, again, it's one of those things, like, man, I would like to update it, but the only issue is, one, I don't know when I'll have the time between, because I'm really wanting to, aside from this, I'm really wanting to focus on polishing up Super RPG Framework now, which I kind of do as I'm working on stuff that uses it. That, and also, I'd have to think of kind of what I wanted to do with it, because although it is dated, and that's the main reason I want to polish it up, I feel like I'm not sure how exactly to make it include, because I would want to make it like my other stuff. I'd want to make it in a way where it's general enough so that you can kind of customize it to your specific needs and wants for a 3D platformer, but specific enough to where you're not having to do too much yourself. I mean, you're gonna need to do most of it yourself anyway, but oops. So yeah, it's tricky to figure out. It's also, I've had a few other ideas for templates that I wanted to make, but I'm running into that same thing. So, which is partly why I've been wanting to try and make SRPGF a bit of an all-purpose thing for single-player games. So. That should be good. Could be higher here. I need to scale that a bit. Yeah, one hard thing about Pro Instance tools is it's a little difficult to scale. Like, well, I probably could scale along the spline, but I could probably figure out if I took time, and I maybe might later. But what other types of templates I'm making? None right now. I've had ideas for some. One of the ones I had was for a kart racer. I haven't touched that in like probably a year at this point. But kart racer would probably be the most likely one, since multiplayer stuff isn't really stuff that I have focused on with Super RPG Framework, as I've talked about. But even if I updated it and just improved the jump mechanics, maybe for skeleton. Are you talking about the 3D platformer toolkit? If I improve the jump stuff on that? Maybe. Yeah, well, that's one of the things. Just I would probably wait until we're at least finished with the demo here and get some feedback, because oh man, jump and movement in a 3D platformer is one of the hardest things to get right. And obviously, people are gonna would want to tailor that to their own project. So, trying to make that feel right that'd probably be the biggest thing I would want to do with 3D platformers. Get movement in, and movement that like most people would use, so things like ledge grabbing and double jumping and dashing and stuff. It's a good size. I think that. And making that all feel good would be probably the focus. Thank you. Admittedly, I did not make these rocks. They are from I forget. I think it's just the Stylized Forest Pack Volume 3. But I did recolor them so they blend in a bit better. The textures, like admittedly, this isn't the best example of seeing it, but the environment art, like the textures here, the grass, the rocks, and all these plants, as well as the character models, so like Mariposa here, that was all done by Inkros, because this whole the game, the story, the characters, and the design is all hers, and I'm working as programmer on it. So yeah, always don't be afraid to use stuff on. And I don't know. Is it at this point? Is it still considered kind of taboo among some people to use marketplace assets? There's like, oh, you need to make your own stuff, because I don't know if that's as much of a thing anymore. Like, I mean, obviously asset flipping was a big problem back in the day, and it may still be. But as far as like, do you feel as much of a stigma of using a lot of marketplace assets? Because I don't feel like there is as much now. So what am I using from Super RPG Framework? So I'm actually using a fair number of things. One of the main things I use is the menu system, just because it's so well, let me see if I can show you actually. Just the general, I used a lot of the general gameplay framework with gameplay modules that I talked about. I'm trying to pull up the, I'll pull up the game mode so you can see. So I got the game mode here. So I'm using the game modules similarly, just because I like that format of having modular chunks of gameplay and mechanics that I can use. So I got one for zone management right here, which I showed as well. I'll actually show that off. So for moving between zones, I use that same thing. Although I think I gotta fix fading in and out. I think that's working here too. And then the menu system I use, just because I really like it. It's really easy for opening menus and controlling them. And the other thing I'm using is Combatant and Stats. Let me pull up, see if I can get Mariposa herself. So in here, let's see. So she has a combatant component, which I was talking about the other day, which is like key to Super RPG Framework. And then I will use actions and states. So here she has an action for when I hit the jump button, it executes the jump action, and when I hit dash, it executes the dash action, stuff like that. And then all those actions are contained right in here. So it puts, like I was saying, it puts the entirety of a character's, the stuff the characters can do in one place, instead of jumping between like state machines and stuff like that, or having to constantly reference other stuff. I just got it all right here. So like literally the entire logic of her jump is right in here. The entire logic of her dash, which I actually need to work on overhauling, is right in here. So that's another thing I'm using. And then I'm also using stats for her. So like right here, I have an event tick, and it applies damage to the stat 0G. So like when I'm in the air, oh no, well this specific one is when I'm on the ground. So like if my 0G is not full, you saw right there where it jumped all the way up. If I'm on the ground and it's not full, it'll zoom up really fast, and that's handled by literally every tick I check to see, all right, is she falling, and is this state active? And this state it's a tag that just checks to see if she's in 0G mode, and if not, it does negative 0.1% damage to her 0G stat. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, to be fair, yeah, it's true. Oh, sorry. Indigo Steel said it's incredible that so much programming goes into even simple commands. It is true. My main focus has been just as much as I can trying trying to reduce that, or at least make it more convenient. And that's, like I talked about this being inspired by Unreal 4's gameplay ability system, because it's basically the same idea, where it's trying to take a character action, all the logic you would need for a character action, and put it in one spot, so you know exactly where to look to modify stuff. Yeah, but like, so that's a stat system, so, sorry, I missed a few comments here. Sorry, Lisa says, man, seeing you lay out all these rocks using slimes giving me heavy brain chemicals. Worked on an environment with lots of rocks and they get crazy. Yeah, and I'm actually, at the moment, I may have to add in a few more rocks, because at the moment I'm only using 3 different rocks, so there may be a little bit of a uniformity between them. And it will be a case of, like, when the demo is out and we get more feedback on the environment, if it's too noticeable for people. That, like, if people are noticed too much, like, oh, they're using the same rocks over and over again or something, then I might see about looking at different ways to, like, to try to disguise it better or switch things up. But for now, I think it works. I need to replace this water at some point. This is going to be standard. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I'm trying to decide what I want to do for water, whether I'm wanting to, like, modify an existing material or try and create my own, because I'm pretty sure we're going to have, like, a swimming as a mechanic. I don't know why we wouldn't, but water, that, you know, includes working on water materials, and that's a bit difficult to set up, because currently there's no swimming mechanic in the game. But panel water, yeah. Let's see. I could just, I mean, I think over here I literally just have my blue debug material, or no, the purple one. I think Ink actually put that one on. So these wonderful debug domes too. Anyway, I'm gonna check to see. Let's look at the marketplace. I think I mean, I already have some water materials. I'm just trying to triplanar mapping to combat texture stretching. Combat texture stretching. What? I'm confused by what you mean, Samuel. Anyway, oh, get down! Ah, it's freezing on me and showing off all my stuff. That's, I mean, that's okay. But water plant. That's the really dumb one, isn't it? Ah, yes, the unified interactive water system that will blow up your computer. Yeah, I mean, the sky is pink. On this world, so the water would probably be some. Yeah, the water would probably be some shade of like pink or purple. And if it was like a really thick color, that would be unhealthy looking. But it is a fair bit. In fact, I'm probably gonna bring this thing up a little bit. But yeah. Anyway, back to finding the water. I don't know if any of you have ever used the Unified Interactive Water System, but oh boy. Yeah, well, what can I say? Anyway, water material. If I was a real professional, I'd like block the screen while I did this, but you know what, who cares? It's all my stuff. I can decide what I do and do not show off. Wait for that to add in. Come on. Oh yeah, I just remember. Yeah, I need to smooth those out. You're talking about like here, right, where it's a pretty sharp spike. Yeah, that's again because this was meant to be hold in until I got the rocks in. But you're correct, I do need to go through and smooth some of that stuff out. Oh, and also, most of it, again, since it's going to be covered with rocks, most of the LODing that you're seeing here will probably be covered up when I get the rocks in. But unfortunately, especially since we're already working to again, not promising anything, but for the final game, there is a hope to have a Switch release, which I don't know if they'll have the Switch Pro or whatever by then. But they've been like rumors about forever. But if we're gonna do that, we do need to be mindful about, you know, I mean, there's gonna be some graphical cost, obviously. Anyway, water. Materials. Yeah, here we got some good ones. What is the one I really like? The water blue? Is the one I liked to use? Yeah, that's good. I was a professional. Again, probably be doing this differently, but I'm gonna increase the diffuse so they can actually see it. Ooh, that's a bit much. Anyway, this isn't going to be the difference, so I shouldn't have a problem with refraction. Oops. Oh man, I don't like the shore edge there. Oh, it's probably because I need to make it dirty. Well, thanks, Indigo. Yeah, no, I appreciate the Sam. Obviously, it's stuff to keep in mind because people do notice that whether it ends up being just kind of a meme or like, you know, like Cyberpunk. That really depends on how bad it is or how constant it is. And welcome back, Ben. Yes, the song does slap. Although not my favorite song on this album, but it's still a good one. What the heck? Hey! Oh, here we go. I thought maybe it was anymore. Oh, that's why. Tool strength is down. Come on. There we go. Probably should set a post-process volume down here as well. Ah, that nice green water texture. Oh, I forgot I turned on AI or nav mesh. I am wondering where Ink is. I told her I was going to be streaming and getting the heck in chat, and she didn't. Ah well, I'll do my best to keep you entertained. I should probably, yeah, but this tile's a little much. Maybe I'll change that up a bit. Let's see if there's any more water around. I don't think there is. Yeah, that's true, Indigo. I mean, it's true in a sense, but at the same time, if you're one, it's just the value. I mean, a little bit of triplanar or LOD stuff is not going to make that much of a difference. But like whether or not indie games should or should not get leniency, is a little bit irrelevant to whether or not they do or whether or not they're gonna whether or not people will play for them. It's like people will pick what they do and do not want to play based on what looks, you know, appealing to them, and even if it may not be quote unquote fair, if an indie game can't get that just because it doesn't have the money, then it's, and I'm saying this as both a developer and a consumer. It's sad, but it's unfortunate that, you know, you're probably not gonna, your indie game if it doesn't seem appealing, is not gonna be, people aren't gonna play it. So we gotta at least, what the heck? Hey, get out of here! Fix yourself. What the heck is that all about? Oops. Yeah, you gotta at least seem like you care. Which I do. It's a good project. It's also nice working on a project where I have like no control or say, or not no control, but like I have no responsibility for the story and creative design, and just get to work on programming. It's nice. No, I mean, you could, okay, to bend your question, you theoretically could use SRPGF in VR in the same way that theoretically you could use some elements with multiplayer, although VR would be easier than multiplayer to use for sure. It's just not designed with that in mind, so if the issues came up, I wouldn't necessarily know how to deal with them. I would say it's just that most of the systems are like statistical or mathematical, or else designed for like single player stuff. So you could use VR. I can't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to. It's just that it's not something I specifically went out of my way to focus on when developing. If that makes sense. This is nice looking. I think I have a little pile over here. Ooh, while I'm playing this music, this is actually reminding me a bit. I'm curious if anyone's played Ys 9. You might know what that is if you've followed me, since I'm a bit of a Falcom fanboy. But it's a action RPG on the PS4 and Switch. Have I considered procedural placement for the rocks and stuff? I mean, this is a bit procedural already in the sense that the generation is. It would depend on what you mean by, like, because obviously the for example, if you could give me examples of what tools you're talking about, I'd love to take a look at them. As far as like the procedural generation goes, this is probably as procedural as it can get for me, just because we're being very deliberate about where stuff is laid out. So this is obviously a lot faster than laying out rocks manually. But yes, the same way, if you have suggestions for like marketplace tools that could help development, I'd love to hear about them. Getting a little tired of working on rocks and stuff, honestly. I'd rather be working on Game. Well, first of all, you need to get rid of these. Forgot you left these in. Get that crap out of here. And I think you can go as well. Oh yeah, oh man, prefabricator. I like this. I haven't had much opportunity to use it in this project though. This guy's tools are really good though. I also have his. I mean, probably won't use it at all for this, but I'm also a big fan of Dungeon Architect, which I think is by the same guy. And one thing that's nice is I will probably. I'm thinking for. I don't know for sure yet, but what's nice about Dungeon Architect is I could turn it on, create a dungeon with it based on static meshes that exist, then just turn it off and like sell that as a sample project, or sell that a dungeon in a sample project, because as long as it's not including the plugin itself, it should be fine. But it also lets me to create a sample game really quickly, so I may be using that for some of the sample games for RPG Framework. I'm not sure yet. It sticks out a little too much. Yeah, Dungeon Architect's hard to wrap your head around, Ben, for sure. It definitely in some cases feels like it's designed for specific games in mind. I'm really a fan of I forget what it's called, but I'm a fan of its the tool that like, oh, heck, I forget what it's called. I think it's this, I don't know if it's the snap. It's not the snap map. It's the one where like you create sort of a grid. Wait, let's see if I can pull it up. Architect, sort of a quick image of what the specific tool looks like. Sorry, I'm breaking a bit first of a second from development, but I want to clarify this. E4 Dungeon Architect. Grid Flow Builder. Yeah, so quickly. Yeah, Grid Flow Builder. This is actually really cool, and I'm a big fan of this tool, Grid Flow Builder. But the only issue is that the whole dungeon is on the same level. You can't have multiple levels, and that can be kind of annoying for me for specific stuff. But I generally am a fan of this specific tool for generating dungeons. So I haven't used Snap Builder. I actually haven't tried out much of. Landscape Pro 2. Hang on. Let me jump away for. Let's all look at it together. Why don't we? Also, is my music? I feel like my music's probably so good. Landscape Pro 2. Oh, I see. So it's, are there videos kind of showing it, how it goes? I know I'm taking a bit of a detour now, but, whoa, that's loud. No copyright. It's Call of Duty, no copyright. Ah, is this kind of like Brushify? Yeah, I have used Brushify as well. If this looks kind of similar to that. Nice. Oh, and you're just painting in rocks and stuff. So this is cool. This isn't quite yeah, this is cool. It looks a lot, reminds me of Brushify. It's just at the same, yeah, sorry about that, Lisa. It's just that, oh, my brain. Again, the same reason I wasn't using a Restec is that I wanted more control myself over what the landscape did. So obviously I got to figure out what the crap. Where's my grass? There we go. Yeah, I got to figure out why the grass is taking a while. It's still got more work to do, but the proceed. Oh, I didn't see that. I'll have to take a look at the procedural mesh tool later then, but let me fix this up. That's a bit better. But I feel like here's the thing. I like a lot of the stuff on the marketplace, but yeah, I love obviously the issue, and again, the thing I've been trying to avoid with my own stuff, like snapping isn't working properly. I've been trying to avoid with my own stuff, like in Super RPG Framework, as much as I can, is the fact that a lot of stuff, it's just that it's so specific or so specialized that it can be, if it's not quite right for what your project is going for, it's not very useful to you. And that's the issue I've run in with a lot of some like the landscape tools. There are some great ones out there, like Brushify is amazing, ResTech, a lot of that stuff, but usually it's for a specific type of, more realistic type of game. So if you're doing something that's not quite for that, it can be hard to get it to. Usually, you're better off creating something yourself. That's my experience anyway. Well, so Spencer, well, first of all, Yooka-Laylee is actually a platformer, but I understand what you're saying. So it is a 3D platformer. It's a physics puzzle platformer, mainly on account of movement and stuff, but it's not strictly, as far as I understand, it's not meant to be like locked into a specific genre or style. There's some, probably definitely some inspiration from things like, from Zelda, for example, 3D Zelda games. And it's also very, very heavy on story and character and world building. So not quite like RPG levels, not quite like the stuff I would do, but there's still more of a focus on that. So anyway, back to Yeast Music, get back here. How loud is it? So hard to gauge music volume. Sculpt. Flatten? I don't know, it looks good. And a lot of the stuff will probably change kind of as the layout of events and the levels. Or sorry, the levels events are decided on. So try not to lock down stuff too specific. In fact, I'll probably leave this spot alone for now. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new layer of. I want to like make a new. Oops. A new rock layer right in front of that one. That may not be very smart actually. Just so it doesn't look like they're all coming right out of the ground there. Looks like there's a little bit more of a bump up to it. Although I gotta make sure you can't get out up here. So I gotta be careful about that. I'll probably just put a wall in the way, invisible wall. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Samuel. Although, I mean, there are still some really cool stuff, like this right here, Ultra Dynamic Sky. Or hang on, see if I can find it. Oh yeah, it's locked in this level here. Well, anyway, let me look for a second. Yeah, this Ultra Dynamic Sky is really cool. I mean, I've modified it a bit, so it's not quite looking as cool as it is. But this is one of my favorite things to use off the marketplace because it's highly customizable and works for a lot of stuff. And it comes with a weather system too. It's really nice. So, but yeah, especially, I mean, I've moved away a lot more from like project templates and stuff like that on the marketplace, just because it's like I'm better off making it myself, just to what I, and that could just be because I'm more experienced, but a lot of it I am better off just making it myself than trying to get something off the marketplace that may be great, may be fully built up, but then I have to try and figure it out and then stitch it into my currently existing project. So, and I forgot what I was doing again. Okay, well, I think I've worked on rocks enough for now. I think right now I want to work on just quickly modifying her material for 0 gravity, because that's, even for testing, that's going to be annoying, not having a clear indicator of whether or not she is in 0G. So, let's go for that. I think we just really, I'm going to make a specific material for that one. I forget what they're called. What a can? Whatever. Bother think about it later. Don't crash, please. Alright. Characters. Shaders. I think for now I'm just going to invert the shader. Shader compiling. Minus. It should just be inverted, right? Yeah. Okay. Easy enough. Yeah. More like a 0G content for now. Now. Although, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to have her separate out because otherwise the clothes are gonna 0G too, and that's not gonna make much sense. It's fine for now, but her clothes would not invert color as she does. That doesn't exactly make much sense. When I go. Now, yeah, I just open up. Hey, another example. So, combatant states. In this case, I have her 0G state, which controls all of her logic for 0G, aside from when she's recovering it. Should be just. I probably need to set a timeline. This is one thing I would like for actions extensions, is to have some sort of timeline function, like actors do, but it doesn't. So I've kind of had to make my own, which is the lerp over time. I think, do I have a 0G on? What's that in? That could be another event tick. Oh, get rid of that crap. 0G below. I wonder if a state machine would be better for this, actually. I don't have a character state machine. Nah, because I want the timeline function. Yeah, I know, right? Anyway. Do want switch. Yeah, I've also added, by the way, I've added a few useful macros that I use a lot into SRPGF as well. One of them is this, for example, do want switch, which basically it'll, whenever it goes through here, it'll run through the true or false. It'll only run through it once until the value is changed, and then it'll run through the other one. And this is really useful if you're doing an event tick and you want to constantly be checking for something, but you don't want to continually run the function for it, so you'll only ever do it when it's changed. You'll run it once, and then you'll wait for it to change again. So in here, in this case, I'm going to have a timeline for 0G blend, and this is going to be blending 0G on her body. I'm sorry. Materials. I actually need to get all of her materials at the start, won't I? Set up dynamic materials. So, loop. Just grab all those. Dynamic material. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, I know. That's basically what I've been trying to add with them, Samuel. This stuff that I'm like, why isn't this already in the engine? Which is another reason I have that low extended framework or extended library, function library, as a requirement for Super RPG Framework, because it uses a lot of functions from that, because it's stuff that's like, why isn't this already in the engine? So anyway. So, music stuff. Okay. Dynamats. Make this private. We don't want anyone else using this. Oops. And this will contain all her dynamic materials. And then let's just make a macros that we can with them all once. 4 inch dynamic material. Excuse me. Oops. Event graph. Yeah, I need to set the blend thing. 0.2 is probably good. 0.2 seconds. What the crap? Put that back. My brain. Value 1 at 0.2. We want it to be a bit smooth, so... Yeah, no, and another thing that baffles me, why are timelines something you can only use in actors? Why can't you use them in widgets? Actions, I understand that was added in by, what's his face? The guy who made the Actions Extensions plugin. So I get that. But you can't use them in, like, interfaces. You have to use animations, or widgets. You can't use them in widgets. You can't use them in all sorts of stuff, but they're so useful. Give me my timelines back, please. Anyway. Brain snap. There we go. Set. It's a scalar, right? And we called it 0G, correct? 0G. So now I just gotta on activation and finish. Get that. So get owner. must turn default player. No, not 0G point. 0G question mark. I didn't make it private, did I? I did. I'm dumb. There we go. Yeah, this is one, again, because of these timelines, this is one instance where I have to work outside of, in our RPG Maker, or RPG framework. Ah! If I ever get sued by them, I am gonna get destroyed. Anyway, with RPG framework, this is one area where I usually try to keep everything in the states and functions. This is one area where I'm going to go outside of it a little bit back into the character's blueprint to run this. Just because I need the timeline thing. Which sucks a little bit, but whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do. Excuse me. Okay, let's try it out. Nope. Why is she just not doing it? I'm pretty sure she's using the same shaders or whatever that can blend. Yeah, 0G right there. So it should be working. It's not, I'm not sure. Alright, well. So I'm setting the 0 to G scalar parameter. This one. Correct. So this is all working fine. Something to do with the dynamic materials. Setting those up correctly. I feel like I'm doing something wrong as far as... Oh, sorry. Oh, is this it? I'm gonna try this one instead. Material. Material. This might screw things, but we'll see. Yeah, now she's screwed. Frick, look at that. That is gross. I mean, her... Hang on. One hand it's changing back and forth, but it's still completely wrong. I don't have to set those manually. Oh, I can just plug that in. Oh, I'm so... Oh, well, first I'm not going to say anything until I see what it works. Okay, there we go. Man, I'm dumb. But hey, I figured it out, so I'm slightly less dumb. And man, that's a weird looking transition. Yo. Now she can turn blue. As you do. Oh, she can slide. And really pointless collectibles, so you can pick those up. Alright, back to rocks, I guess? That could be blended a bit better. I forgot where I put the rocks. And another reason I need to clean this freaking freaking whatever. I need to clean out these folders so I can find stuff easily. Different actors world. Okay. Add another layer of rocks here. Supposed to be small. It's more just a fill layer. And now the best track. The one. Oops. Yeah, that's a bit better. Probably want to use one of those here as well. To make them more reliable. Yeah, it's it's a problem we all face. I've gotten a lot better, Samuel, at like planning stuff out over time. And I think I may have talked about this before yesterday, but now my logic is for folder management is I create, especially since I know I'm going to be importing stuff, I'll create like a main folder for my project, and then inside that, typically now, this isn't quite set up for that, but typically I'll have blueprints which will contain all my core code and all for like core systems and stuff that I build, and then data will contain all of my data. So like if I for example, if I had like an inventory system or something, all the code for that would be in here, and then all the actual items would go in a items data folder. So I know if I'm looking for creating new instances or something, it could be in the data folder. And then everything else is just by category. Like I have one for materials, for particles, textures, and then from there usually it's just putting in stuff that I feel is appropriate. So, which definitely is especially when you're importing assets for something that has like, well, it has blueprints and textures and materials and stuff. Then it's like, well, where do you put it? It's really, you gotta make that call yourself, but I've gotten better at it. But yeah, it's especially when you start importing stuff from the marketplace, it can get pretty crazy to keep up with all that. Yeah, it's not just Unreal folder, is it? Stuff, is it? Lisa. Oh, especially when like, I don't know if any of you have ever used Maya, especially for school. But when I was learning to use Maya for school, my instructors were constantly like, yo, make like so many backups of your Maya folder or your Maya thing or your Maya projects, just because they will crash and you will lose stuff. And so you end up with so many different Maya files because of the fear of losing stuff, because it just crashes so much. I'm not a fan of Autodesk, so I don't mind trash talking Maya a little bit, because I really think, aside from the quad tool, I kind of think Maya sucks. I really don't like using it. This quad tool is awesome, but set your set your project. Why? Why do I have to set my project? Why can I not just open it like a normal program? So annoying. I can't stand Maya. It sucks so much. And it's so expensive. Yeah. Oh my, 100 iterations. Quick. Yeah, I long since stopped using it and switched over to Blender, but my friend was still using it for like some of his school projects, and it's I just sometimes take a look at him and see his folder, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why haven't you switched to Blender already? Yeah, I know there are actually some advantages to Maya. It's mostly just I find the disadvantages too much, and I don't get enough use out of the advantages. But and Blender's just getting better and better on top of being free too. So it's like, well, even then when I started many years ago, when I started at college classes, Blender was not nearly as great as it is now. So So ghosting off the student's license. Yeah, I would. Well, that's the thing is like I understand people doing that, but I still try to recommend to them like try to before that license expires, try to learn Blender because yeah, Blender's amazing. It's so good. I watched some interviews with the guy who created it, and he, and I really like what he's trying to do to it. Which is always that fear. It's like, oh, every time there's something that's free, someone's gonna buy it out, and it's not gonna be free anymore. It's gonna get worse. And Blender, yeah, Blender does support Maya shortcuts, but I have heard, and I kind of agree with this, it's typically best not to rely on those and try to learn the Blender UI for yourself, which understandably is, I mean, it's got a lot better once they changed the select button to left mouse, because for some boneheaded reason it was a right mouse button for so long. But I do think Maya's, or sorry, not Maya, Blender's UI and controls and stuff are pretty good, pretty intuitive once you get used to them. But similar to most software, like ZBrush is the same way, although ZBrush takes a little bit more of a learning curve, I think. Yeah, and that's the other thing is like you could say with Maya and Blender or whatever, it kind of comes down to like, well, a lot of people don't have a choice; they just don't have the money to spend on Maya. So that, I mean, that's Adobe. I know, like, oh man, I don't usually like. I mean, I guess I'm okay with bullying a big company that makes a lot of money. Adobe's really kind of sucks. And what's nice is like pretty much, maybe not all their stuff, but most of their stuff, most of their stuff is like there's better alternatives for, or at least stuff that's about as good. Like Premiere is great, but DaVinci Resolve is free, and though it can be a little laggy, it's also really great. It's mostly just their stuff is, it's not that their stuff is bad, it's that aside from like not updating a lot of them, they have competition that is like 80% as good and also 0% the cost. So oh yeah, I mean, and that's another thing about Blender is you kind of have to treat 2.8 onwards as basically a completely different, at least from what I understand, is a totally different software almost, because it was like the big overhaul. I didn't use, well, because yeah, I tried using, that's what initially would turn me off to it, is I tried using Blender when it was in, when it was before 2.8, and I was like, what the heck is going on? I can't make heads or tails of this. Why is the select button right mouse? Yeah, so it's pretty good. Yeah, the thing with Blender is I can sympathize with people who like got used to the way it was and then it changed, but it's also like it just makes more sense to me to unify things between. It just doesn't make sense to me why you would well, it's a similar reason to why I think like the overwhelming majority of turn-based RPGs play almost 95% the same way, and the difference typically comes in not the actual battle system or whatever, it's just in a few gimmicks. Because it's like, why people are so, or a similar thing with first-person shooters where they all control the same way. Because it's like people are so, whether you want to do something original or not, people are so accustomed to a certain way of controlling things or a certain type of interface that what's the point in making it harder for them? It just seems like it's going to be harder for them to get to the good stuff, the stuff that the actual value in whatever it is you're doing. And that's kind of how I feel about some of the old Blender stuff. It's like, and it's kind of how I feel about ZBrush a little bit too, even though I love ZBrush. It's like, why is some of this stuff just, it feels so pointlessly obtuse and I don't know if it's if it's different to be different or to be, I don't know, whatever. It's like, just make it function like everything else. Exactly. Don't fix what ain't broke. I'm probably gonna wrap up pretty soon here. Because, well, I don't know. The car feels pretty short, but I'm running out of music for one thing. Also, until I have some more meetings, I'm a little bit at an end on some of the stuff I can do. But I got plenty more walls I can fill in. Bothering to get the interior files for the van because I want to work on the van. We're a little decided on how. Oh man, I don't know how much I cannot talk about because I'm sure she doesn't care, but like, I don't want to get giving away stuff I shouldn't be. But I think she may have already said this. The van, which right now is just this, her space van is just this block here, but it'll be fixed. Has an interior and if. Because obviously it's the way of traveling across the galaxy is with the space van. And I'm kind of leaning towards, if any of you have played Persona 5 Strikers, let me pull up what it looks like. It's kind of what I'm leaning towards for as far as what it looks like inside the van. Take a good, there are no good screenshots in there. Here we go. This is like, okay. Yeah, so like this kind of is what I'm sort of thinking about for like what the interior of our van would look like, where you just become characters hanging out and you can select a menu. Maybe you'd move around as you hover over different things. But so yeah, I need to get the files to work on that because that'll be fun to show off. I need to work a lot on UI design because UI right now, aside from this little guy up here, it's a little boring. And the pause menu is just this. Which actually, I can show off that. That's a little bit of a more RPG framework stuff. So I talked a bit about selectors before. What is it? Blueprints, I think? No. What is blueprints? Menus, pause menu. Yeah, I'm excited to work on the van layout and stuff and animations. But yeah, so here's an example of so I've talked a bit about selectors before in the other stream and how those work. But yeah, so like say if you wanted a bunch of options for just generic options for something, you just look up here, selector option list. And there you got one. You can add options to it. You'll need to add an option class though to determine their appearance, which I have a few different ones, but go with this. And then you just put in their name or whatever. They'll also need a tag so you can call on them. But yeah, you can add this stuff in really quickly. It's like if I just open it up right there. And there's some quick ways of assembling this stuff. So like you can change the layout, the orientation. It can be vertical, it can be horizontal. You can use a normal box. You can use a uniform grid. Which I got 5 rows, so if I increase the number here, yeah, see, it'll sling that up more. You can do a scroll box as well, which can also be vertical or horizontal. Although in this case, it's not gonna look very good, but because of the way I have the widget set up. And one of the cool things that I've been working a little bit more is what I have here, layout curve. And what this does is it essentially allows you to have some customization over the positioning, basically how the entries are laid out, the scale, the rotation, and positioning. And that's how you get something like this. You can sort of set up this nice little rotating options, and I can add more options to it, and it'll maintain its kind of consistent curve. Because you can also add in the background, but I won't in that case because it'll look weird. And that's where you have this curve here, where I just have this curve. X would be, X is I think it's X is position, Y is rotation, and Z is scale. So it just modifies the location of the entry based on it's 0 to 1. So 0 is the start, and 1 is the end. So it has this curve, and you have to see that curve there. And I believe this is rotation. Yeah, this rotation. So it's just going from negative 20 to 20 rotation. Anyway, another thing, and again, this applies for anything with a selector. So like, there are unit selectors. You can also preview the amount of you want, which I don't think this will work for that, but I will try it. Yeah, same thing. So, fun part of menus. Menu doesn't really do anything right now, but it's at least in there. Whoop. Oh, she snaps it. I don't want that. I'll have to work on the animation someplace. So I do not want her like snapping too quickly. Double jump. How does the outside look? It's a little big. Yeah, we need to work on some of the height for this because we don't want to get that. That definitely is going to need some polishing because that is awkward looking. Just the rock sticking into the ground there. Anyway, I have more areas I need to put rock into. Probably a few more. There's one. I found one. I found a naughty boy. Forget I said that. Just moving that a little bit out there. Okay. What the crap? No. Put that back. No, I don't want to turn the whole thing, just this end. don't know if you guys can hear. There's someone vacuuming outside the room. It sounds like. I didn't give you permission to vacuum while I was streaming. How dare you? Okay, I'm really gonna need to work on something more exciting for the next stream than laying out rocks. That actually looks a bit awkward, I think. Move it further in. That's a bit better looking, I think. Yeah. Add another bit down here. Probably drop another layer here too. A little bit strange looking, I think. I'm sure what you do back here. Oh, what's that one? Ah, crap. We're locked in saving. Oh well, it'll be fine. If it doesn't, I saved a little bit ago. Oh boy, please don't crash on me. So how about that Unreal Engine 5, huh? Ain't heard like nothing of that in months. I thought they were supposed to have freaking alpha or something out by this year. What's going on, Epic? Where's my Unreal Engine 5? Not that there's any way my computer's gonna be able to run it, but still. Okay, this is actually concerning me. This is taking too long. And there's some stuff I don't know if it was saved. Forgot to do a save all. Well, we might be here for a little bit. Maybe this is a sign to wrap up. I don't know. We'll see. That was awkward. Yeah, I know, right? I think I've saved most of the stuff, so like, I shouldn't really lose anything. Because I mean, mainly just been working on the map, so the only thing I would lose is maybe a few rocks. But that's it. Yeah, as for Unreal Engine 5, I just want to know what the interface looks like, to be honest. I want to know what the interface looks like. I want to know what stuff they've added to blueprints. I want to know how different it is. I want to know if we can be totally C++ free. Ah, it does not like the rocks. Yeah, hang on. Come on, Task Manager, don't fail me now. I may have to force to quit. This is gonna be a pain in the butt. Yo, when the task manager's not responding? Bruh. I'm gonna go ahead and kill it. Let's try again. See what we lost. Oh, I've been exposed. How about that? Let's see what damage was done. It's gonna crash, unload up, just watch. If it does, it'll be fine, but that would be funny. And annoying. Yeah, well, Unreal does freeze or crash more than you'd expect for stable software, admittedly. Especially in the image stuff. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure the interface won't be like massively different, but if it looks like the exact same, I'm gonna be like, oh, come on. Uh, 95 or come on. Let's go, let's go. I ain't got all day here. We're at 1 hour 30, about. Alright. Should we open those? Well, frick. Okay, so I lost those rugs. Lost those rugs. I don't remember if I did rocks there. But kept those. Gotta keep this. Good. So it's mainly just the stuff over here. It's okay. It's not too bad. Although I'm not gonna do it right now. You had your chance and you failed me. Get your chance again later. So unless you just, we need to decide on what the terrain that is, plus or enemy mobs and stuff. But maybe I could. Excuse me. Itching. I can assure you, if anyone's concerned, it's not COVID. I just got tested. So, but throat's a little bit itchy. Okay. Ah, there she is. You took long enough. I was running out of things to talk about. Everyone, Inkbros, creator of Mariposa and the Galaxy Man, technically my boss. So yeah, if you have any pestering questions about Mary Poo Poo, just ask her. Hey, Ink, what do I work on next? I've been working on rocks, but I'm bored. Anyway, oh, by the way, Ink, since you're here. It's awful looking, but I do have 0G material in. So you just give me those textures, and I will do whatever. Oh, and also when you get me the what the heck ever. Actually, I could probably work a bit on the van right now. I don't know what the heck we're gonna do with it, but I mean, I know what we're gonna do with it. But when I do this. Combat. Ah, man. Yeah, we still need to figure out what to do with the control for aiming, don't we? Because here's the problem, guys. We have stuff for aiming, for looking around, for combat. Feels really good on the right mouse button, but so does zero gravity. It feels really good, and we don't want those to be the same button. So, a little unsure. Oh yeah, by the way, I think these are showing off a little bit more, but hello. No petting yet, but that'll come. So, alright. Well, just to look impressive, I'll stay on the map for working on combat. But... excuse me. Combat's gonna look real boring working on it, though. I'm actually gonna probably not work on combat this time because I need to review the document and some of the stuff on it. So, I'm just gonna let it Is it the music a little loud? Yeah, sorry, it's been hard for me to kind of figure out where to put the volume at. There we go. I forget how big the van is, but it's okay for now. Brain. Need a camera too. Actually, what we need is the grill. Okay, so this van is way too big. Some water. Whoop. I know, Ink, do you want to take that one? So, I mean, man. Yeah, it's probably better to ask Ink, but it's sort of... basically the combat is generally based around physics, and specifically your ability to secrete, I'm going to use that word because I know Ink hates it, a substance that when it hits something, it turns it into like 0G, and so from there you can kind of kick him around and do stuff like that. So, but that's going to be hard for... it might be hard for me to explain over text, but She might be able to tell you better. So yeah, it's not super. Combat's fairly light. It's not very complex. But spot with the camera. Lock that in place so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. Now let's go ahead and make a new menu. Call it menu Mariposa van. Now, Ink, what options do we want in here? I only know a few of them off the top of my head. Now I gotta change music. Nope, nope. Don't know if you have the option to travel different. Well, we'll at least put it in there. Let's see. Don't consider anything I put in here as a promise for the game, okay? I'm actually not 100% sure what is and is not locked down. Yeah, you probably did. That was, well, this is all stuff from Falcon, so it's going to be mostly from Ys or Trails games, which may have a few Japanese vocal tracks in them. They are JRPGs. I don't know. Expect creatures? I really don't know what I put in here. We'll just go with those two for now. And then we'll leave. Wardrobe. Okay. Keep them coming. Music? Okay. I wonder if I should create a new gameplay module for the van. I shouldn't need to because... No! Freaking yeah, Japanese music is dope. I agree. That's why it's mostly what I listen to. Creaturepedia. I haven't spec creatures, but we can put that there. Creaturepedia. Give it an opening animation too. Oh yeah, another thing with the way menus work in Super RPG Framework is I have stuff already easily set up for adding in animations for opening and closing a menu. So for example here, I just create a new animation, I call it Open Anim, and let's do an animation. Is that 3 frames? Or 3 ticks, whatever. Bit too slow. Want to happen a bit faster. 1 tick faster. Oops. Ah, crap. I have it in 2. Oops. And then essentially, once you've got your animation for opening set up, if you go into the graph, functions, and then look for Get Animations menu. Just click on that. Excuse me. And you can plug in your animation there. And this will determine what animation is used for when you open and close the menu and what direction. So here, typically, I'll have one animation and then I'll plug it in for both and just say open forward for when the menu is opened and then reverse for when it's closed. And so now, well, I'll need to finish setting it up to show it off specifically, but look at her go. I can just show it off, I suppose. Let's see if I click 0. Open. Oops. Open menu. Menu Mary. So now, I'm going to do a save all. Don't want to lose anything else. Hang on. Oops. I hit O? Not O. Ah, that's why I pressed put in the wrong input. Well, I think I may have already just showed you it, but now we have... Come on, Unreal, stop being dumb. Hey, though. You have that little animation for opening up. Easy peasy. Anyway, tile room. Yeah, lockout tools, man. They are not attractive, but they are necessary. So the menu will pop up right about there. So now, I'm just gonna make the van a blueprint. A state machine could be good. Think of how I want to do this. Probably, would it be an action? What would it be? What would it be? Okay, I think I know. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna just go ahead and make it another... Do I want to make it another gameplay module? I don't know. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Whatever. Just kind of show you how those work. Alright. Gameplay module. There we go. Alright. Nah, I don't need this because it's not going to be changed for between projects. So I'm just trying to decide the most efficient way to do this. Don't you dare stay at that 0% again. Don't you freaking dare. Okay, there we go. We'll do an action. How about that? Actions are cool. Mariposa van. Alright, so when we enter the van, first we gotta load. Stream. I want to load an instance of a stream level. Sorry. Not finished. Hopefully this should close up. Alright. Oops. Fade screen. Fade out. Oops. Menu. Man, set control. Yeah, that kind of is. Can't use that. Closed. Fade out. How it finished? Actually, I want to change that to set input mode. So we want to fade out, then load in the level, then fade back in. We want to open up the menu, and when we close the menu, we want to get out of the van. So I'm going to load the level stream, and then fade in. Fading in will complete the action. All right, get RPG game mode. Also want to turn off the main HUD while I'm in here. No, off. Also set, we don't want to control the player, so set player character input enabled. Another function that is added with the RPG framework. Then we exit. We will restore both of these. Alrighty, alrighty. So van be in the dialogue. Enter van. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh yeah, I need to have a function for completion. Actually, we'll put that before this. We want to make sure exit is called before closing this out, otherwise the action will disappear and nothing will happen. So, we go exited. We'll stop the state machine. Or stop the dialogue. Stop. Now let's see what happens. Get out of the way. What the? 1 second. That's weird. Let's try this better. What the crap? Dialogue for space. Yeah, why isn't dialogue showing up? I guess you could just go to this. Oh, I know why. I'm not using the custom dialogue stuff I made. Response hub. Response. Enter van. And then leave. Leave and get out. There we go. Enter van. Right. I had to. Gosh dang. Sorry, guys. Not the noises. Apparently, I'm full of phlegm today. Sorry. All right. Well, what the crap? Gotta fix. What? What is all this? Ah, I see. I see. I know what's causing that. I'll fix that later. So where's the camera? There we go. Just want to make sure that automatically lessens. Set view. Quick. And we'll return the view to the player character. No. Set view target, I think? I guess I gotta copy it. That's okay. Ugh. Intervan. Ooh, that wasn't the that wasn't the smoothest transition. But she is ready to go. What else do I need to do? I just had a little bit of a delay between doing this. Delay. Let's say half a second. Should be long enough. Yeah. I just need to make it when I hit leave. We actually leave. That's pretty not easy. Option chosen, switch. When we hit leave, we'll close out the menu, close menu, and then when the menu is closed here, then it'll fade out the screen, unload this, and go back. Sweet. Let's give it a try. I'm sure it'll give me some errors, but enter van. Leave. Ah. Okay. I gotta cut back right here. Yeah. Yeah, baby. The van is working. No, it isn't. It's still up there. Well, it's fine. I just need to make sure to put it in every level manually, and I'll be okay. It shouldn't be too hard. Unload. No, sorry. Load stream level by object name. And make this watch to load naturally. What would you call that? Isn't there something that like looks like a chi, but it's got a second line underneath the first one at the top? In some language, I think. Oh, is that Japanese? It might be. It might be the hiragana. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, it's gone. Boom. We got a few errors. Why do we have errors? I'm gonna go fix these now. I think I'm trying to close out a dialogue menu that doesn't exist. So I will take a look at that. Let's see. Where are we at? Dialogue module. Oh yeah, by the way, in case anyone now, if you already need to if you already own Logic Driver Pro like I do, you can get, if you go to their website, you can get this Logic Driver dialogue system that I made. You can get it for free. And I believe the AI system is included as well. But basically, you can get this Logic dialogue system for free to use in your games. I use it in all mine. I really like. I mean, I made it, so of course I like it. But oh man, I had for a second. About to hit 2 hours. I think with that, I'll go ahead and what the heck is going on? Why can't I select anything? That's why. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up for today at 2. Gosh, dang it! No, you don't. No, you don't do this to me. Oh, we can go see this whole space though. I want to try that. Although I think the ultra dynamic sky, you don't have the option to. Oh look! I don't think this is what the. I don't think that's what it looks like in space. Ugh. Okay, now I turn that down. Back to 4. That's gonna be way too slow. Quick, grab onto something, anything, and zoom in. There we go. All right. I think that is some decent progress for today. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this all up there. Thank you guys for coming. I will. Sorry, my brain farted. No, yeah, I would love to do. Man, I would like to do more live streams. I'll probably end up doing more live streams of development, yeah, as it goes along. I gotta clarify with the lady, of course, what exactly I am and am not allowed to show. But yeah, I'll be working more. I mean, I'll be working on this constantly, but we'll see about when I can next stream this. And I still intend on doing some more videos on Super RPG Framework. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining me. I've had a really good time. So I will see you guys later.